Welcome back. It's 8,005 on the Nifty, so very, very close to that. The mid-cap index is now approaching a cut of close to about 1%. Very quickly, let's try pulling up a few stocks. It's names like Marksans Pharma, a Delta Corp, a Himadri Chemical, Alembic, Ace. These are stocks which had seen a very sharp run-up over the last few days. A Texmeco, a Z Media Corp. Just try pulling up a few of them. These are stocks which have shown you the most decline, ever since the mid-cap space started weakening. So watch for the market 8,006, but the bigger cuts are actually in the mid-cap space, and the advanced decline ratio is now in favor of the losing side by a ratio of nearly 2 stocks in the green for 3 on the losing side. Quickly, let's try and squeeze a few personal finance queries. Hemant Rustagi joins in. Hi Hemant, thanks for joining in. Let's straight away go across to our first caller. It's Sanjay from Ghaziabad. Hi Sanjay.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Tell us your question.
Okay. So I have an amount of about 15 lakhs over the next 2 months to invest in equity mutual funds. My investment horizon is about 10 years.
Okay.
So I have 2 options. Either I can invest a lump sum in some of the large cap funds, or I can invest in a liquid fund and then do a systematic transfer to the large caps.
Okay.
So which is preferable in the current market scenario, and what should be the tenure of the STP?
Okay, Hemant, straight away across to you.
Well, I think there are 2 important aspects while investing in equity fund. One, obviously, is the time horizon. That is the period for which the money can remain invested. In this case, as Sanjay has said, he has a time horizon of around 10 years, so I think that's perfectly fine. He can go ahead and start investing in equity funds. But the second important aspect is also the strategy that you adopt for investing in equities. What generally is required is that it should be a combination of a lump sum as well as systematic investment. In case here, if he has a lump sum, then my recommendation would be that, he can invest around 50-60% as a lump sum currently, and the remaining can be invested through STP over the next 6 months. I don't think it really makes sense to prolong that period of systematic investing to 2 years, because that will only shorten his holding period. So I think he should do it over the next 6 months. So a combination of a lump sum and STP, I think, would be fine. As far as the type of funds are concerned, he did mention about investing in a large cap funds. Yes, I firmly believe that for any new investor or someone who wants to invest for a longer period for a certain goal, I think the bread and butter, so to say, of the portfolio has to be large cap fund. I think there should also be some mid cap funds. So I think a combination of these 2 would be apt. Some of the fund that he can invest, consider for investment here is ICICI Focus Blue Chip, which is a pure large cap fund. Then you can look at Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity. And then there are 2 more funds that you can consider. One is Reliance Equity Opportunity, which invests around 60-70% in mid cap and the rest in large cap. And also IDFC Premier Equity, which again invests around 70% in mid cap and 30% in large cap. So I think these 4 funds as a combination would give him the right balance in terms of exposure to different segments, and also the strategy, as I said, mix of lump sum and systematic would be perfect for him.
All right, we have another query. Alankar has written to us from Alvar. He says he invests about 2,000 rupees a month in the Reliance Tax Saver Fund via an SIP. So he says he's currently 27 years old and he has a long-term goal which will take about 10 years to fructify. He wants to know if this is the right fund for him and if he should stay invested. Hemant?
Well, Reliance Tax Saver is actually an equity-linked saving scheme, which is one of the options for saving tax under Section 80C. If you look at this particular fund, it is one of the best performing fund in that category. So my recommendation is that he can continue to remain invested and also continue investing into this. Since it's an equity fund, even though if you look at its lock-in period among all the instruments that are there in Section 80C, it's the shortest. But I think for someone to get the best out of this, you have to invest for the longer term. So I think a combination of that would be perfect. So he can continue investing in this particular fund. As I mentioned, this is one of the best performing fund in that category.
Okay, Hemant, thanks so much for that. For the markets, it's holding on to that 8,000 level, but the Nifty's come off nearly 38 points from the high of 8045, while the mid-cap index has lost more than 1.5% from the highs. But quickly pull up the Asian market screen. I think the weakness stems from there. Shanghai is down 1.8%. You've got the Straits Times, which has also lost close more than a percentage point. You've got the Taiwanese market, which is down 1%. So across the board, you can see weakness across the Asian market screen. Nikkei is is, shut today. But just watch for Shanghai and try pulling up the other ones as well, the Straits as well as the Taiwanese market. So there is considerable weakness that you can see in a couple of the Asian markets. But with that, it's a wrap on halftime report.